Hey, what's going on, y'all? Jay from JS Films. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions about Unreal Engine 5 and Seedance 2.0. So, what I'm going to do right now is kind of just show you a bunch of clips that I generated, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Wait, what? Shouldn't ice melt?
This stuff right here is what I wanted to make in Unreal Engine 5 since I started it 4 or 5 years ago. All right. But we're going to focus on this first clip real quick, and we'll talk about kind of some challenges you will face if you were to make something like this in Unreal. First of which, and I specifically put it in here because I wanted to show it to you, tears. I spent $660 for somebody to simulate tears in another software so I can bring it into Unreal Engine 5 MetaHuman, and I didn't even get to use it because it didn't work. Tears falling down the face just like this. 660 for a 5-second teardrop, and it went to waste. Secondly, if I were to do something like this, a fight animation with acrobatics, I would need either a really good motion capture studio, which, by the way, I got a quote when I was back in Las Vegas that runs about $12,000, just probably for being there. Or you can hire animators, which I have done on a freelancing website. Quality was not there. Again, that's just the fighting animation. Let's talk about the effects. Niagara, sure, you can do all that stuff in Niagara. Cloth physics, uh, really iffy in the Unreal Engine when it comes to cinematics. And what's cool about this is I did CG and I did photorealistic. So I can kind of show it to you both ways because I want to do both. And this dragon right here, there is one seller that sells really good dragons in a marketplace, and that's Rack. Rack's really cool. He's amazing. But again, I don't have an animator to animate a dragon like this. Animating a dragon is so complex, and I'm one person. We have some ice effects, we have some close-ups. I mean, by now, you're probably starting to understand why I'm really considering Seedance 2.0 for the future of my storytelling. Because at the end of the day, if you look at my first video, second video, it was like a short of me just trying to make something cool. With that said, I'm not tied into any software. I've been using Unreal Engine because at the time it was the best option for me 4 or 5 years ago. But after playing around with Seedance 2.0, and I'm mainly wanting to tell stories, it's definitely a no-brainer. Now, granted, it is kind of wonky right now because obviously a lot of people were generating some copyrighted material, so they might be nerfing it. So we don't know what this is going to look like finally. I'm using the nerf version right now. I'm still able to get some pretty good results. I'm working on something right now that hopefully, I can release soon. And again, we'll address the elephant in the room about, like training data, people training on this stuff. But all I gotta say is Disney at first was mad at this. And then finally they cut a deal with Sora. So now Disney is letting Sora train on their model. So Sora is probably gonna be really good later, or VO4. Like Google does the same thing with Nano Banana Pro. You know what I mean? So as far as that's concerned, the studios are already giving the people, the companies to train their models on. So eventually, this is going to be pretty much legalized because of they're allowed to do it because they paid for the training data, right? And as far as I know, that's already happening in the background. It's kind of hard to nail this thing down. It's such a complex idea, but this is not going anywhere. Like it or not, this stuff is going to save them so much money. At the end of the day, Hollywood doesn't care how it's made. Hollywood only cares about how much it's going to take to make and how much they're going to make, which is okay because it's a business at the end of the day. I know this was a really long answer to your question, but I wanted to show you why I'm considering leaving Unreal Engine 5 for something like this for storytelling. Because to be honest, for me to do this by myself would require a lot of money, a lot of effort. And at the end of the day, if the tools are available and it's legal, this is the future of storytelling.